Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start sitting upright in easy cross-legged position or Siddhasana, one shin in front of the other. And just pop your one hand onto your heart and one hand onto your belly. And you can just soften your gaze into the middle distance there. If you're comfortable to close your eyes, go ahead and do that. It's optional. And just feel the warmth and gentle pressure of your hand against the heart space there. It's such a soothing thing to do. Just popping the hands, so simple, onto your heart center. And breathe into that space. As you exhale, just let your shoulders relax. And just feel the breastbone rising as you breathe in. Exhale, feel it just gently draw inwards. And then following the breath down to your belly, feel your bottom hand pushing away from the spine on the inhale. And then the exhale, just drawing that bottom hand inwards towards the spine on the exhale. I love to do this heart breathing when you're feeling really stressed and out of sorts. It just really brings you home to yourself, and that's what this practice is tonight. It's about just calming yourself to the point that you can really come home to yourself once more when everything around you is frenetic and it's knocked you off your center perhaps, and you just need a little bit of calm, a little bit of time to come home. So if there's anything that perhaps is limiting the breath at the moment, perhaps you could lean into whatever that is, feeling that you are in a safe and secure place. And just allow the breath rinse through, gently relieving the physical reaction to whatever stresses and strains you're currently under. Give the body permission to relax and find full breath. Feel the shoulder blades drawing onto the back so the heart lifts a little bit more. Feel the belly supporting you. Good, and just continue to breathe in this way, perhaps slowing the breath a little bit more and adding that slight constriction to the back of the throat for Ujjayi breath. As we move from the superficial physical body now deeper into the nervous system, and just using the breath to invite the nervous systems to really settle down and just change into the parasympathetic mode of healing and restoration. About 6 breaths or so a minute. is ideal to really stimulate and regulate the nervous system through the vagal nerves. Good, just like 3 more, just like this. So simple, so effective. And then exhale. Release those hands. Doesn't that feel better? Okay, so I've organized for quite an easy restorative practice this evening. Easy in that the setup is going to be easy, but you do need a fair few props. So I have my bolster here. You can have several pillows if you don't have a bolster. And a couple of blankets is ideal. And we're going to take the bolster up nice and high to start. So the head end is going to come up nice and high. I'm using, see, I'm lucky, I've got lots of blocks, but you can just improvise there. Popping even some more pillows or books under the head end. Make sure it's nice and stable, okay? And then I'm going to come and sit at the end of the bolster there, which is quite high. Now you can adjust it to whatever height feels good for you. And you can have a couple of blankets or some more blocks. I'm just lucky, I've got lots of blocks and no students. And just use those, have them to hand there to prop up anything as we move through. So the first position we're going to come into is reclined tree pose. I'm going to just put on my timer. We're going to be here for several minutes. So extend the left leg out and bend the right leg. Here we are, another prop, a folded blanket or a pillow underneath the bent thigh, okay? And I'm just going to pull the flesh out on the left side there, so that it feels like my left sit bone is connected directly with the ground. And I'm just going to lay back and see how that feels. You should feel quite nice support there all the way up the back. And then relax your head back here. You can take your arms out to the sides and turn the palms of the hands face up. Good. So reclined tree pose. And once again, just when you find your position, come back to the breath. And you know, if you really found this heart breathing worked well for you, come back to it again. It's like a hug from the front. A little personal hug, and it's so supportive. So if that feels really good for you, continue with it until your arms get tired. Again, eyes softly gazing into the distance or closed if that feels good for you. And let your whole body be supported. So I want you to feel that your whole body is really nicely supported. Just let your chest open so that your heart can lift. And when your heart is open, more breath just comes into the body, pouring in there. Using that nice, slow rhythm of breathing. And when the heart opens, we stop hiding it. And we release fear, we release anything that causes us to hide away from the world and our lives. we bravely surrender. Just allow the breath work through any knots held in the body, allowing them to release one by one as we move through. And then we're going to extend the right leg, bend the left leg. So switch sides, take that support and just pop it underneath the left leg. Then lie back and begin again. And you can have that left foot anywhere along the length of the right leg. And if this feels too much opening, if it feels a little bit too vulnerable, pop a blanket on top. Cover yourself with a blanket or perhaps just a pillow along the chest there, and you can embrace it. Sometimes it takes a little while before we're ready to really open and surrender fully, and that's okay. So sometimes baby steps are just enough. And just feel your skin and the clothes against your skin. Feel the temperature of your skin. And notice any tension playing across the surface. And see if on your next exhale, you can let that skin just soften. Wrapping your awareness around into your back body. Just noticing all of the places beneath you, rooting down into your mat, into the ground. Just pour yourself into those points. Just another 5 rounds of breath here. And don't be concerned because we're not moving very far. Okay, and then just opening your eyes if they were closed. The next one we're going to take is reclined cobbler's pose. So all you have to do is bend the right leg and pop something underneath the thigh. And take your supports into whatever level feels comfortable. I really do suggest using supports there, whether your knees reach the ground or not. Again, cover yourself with a blanket if that feels good, or hug a pillow out in front. And then just find that softness. I'm going to stay here for 5 minutes. If you're really enjoying this opening and you want a little bit more, you can take your arms overhead and clasp alternate elbows. And let the heart open even more as your shoulder blades just gently push from behind, supporting and lifting the heart skyward. And if this feels like too much opening, you know, you don't have to have the heels quite so close in. You can slide the heels away, coming into more of a diamond shape. And there you go, a lot less opening, a lot more comfortable. So whatever your body needs. So changing, if you have your arms clasped or your elbows clasped over your head, just changing the grip. And just allow yourself soften into that silence. Let the thigh bones get heavier. And just feeling your body softening, melting downwards, almost turning from a liquid or a solid into a liquid. We'll just take 5 more breaths here. Okay, and then opening your eyes, just lift your knees up, take your feet flat onto the floor and walk your feet wide and pop those supports there to the side. Okay. So, next one, windscreen wiper, but very slowly, very slowly. Knees bent, just let your 2 knees drop over, or sorry, just let your right knee drop over towards the left ankle and let the left leg open out just a fraction. Your gaze is upwards. And then inhale, just lift up the right knee and drop the left knee down. You probably start to work your way down your bolster, don't worry, just shimmy back up, holding it. Notice any tightness there in the hips, pelvis. Exhale and try and give that a little bit of permission to release. Inhale. Exhale, drop the right knee down. Be very lazy about this. Let the bones be heavy. Imagine yourself, or acknowledge that you are mostly fluid, mostly liquid. So if you can, imagine yourself like a bag full of liquid, just flopping from side to side. Imagine your bones are barely supported and flop down. And then inhale. Back up again, exhale over to the second side there. Okay. Inhale, bring it up. I'm going to have to wiggle back up. Okay, so we're here and we're going to take a nice twist. I'm going to try and leave the bolster nice and high here, but you may find it feels better to take it down a little lower. Suck it and see approach. Take your feet wide as the rails of the mat and the knees bent. And then let the two legs fall over towards the right there. Okay. And then you're going to turn. You're going to have to scoot your hips back towards the left so that you can turn, and take one hand on either side of the bolster. Okay? And just rest your head facing sideways there, and you start to feel a bit of opening here. So this is called swastikasana. And if that's too much opening, you can stack the top leg on top of the bottom leg and pop something in between there. Okay? And then just rest easy here. And you feel a gentle tug all the way down from your left armpit down into the hip and into the top of the thigh and into the front of the thigh. Okay? So breathe into that there. So if you feel like you're more comfortable, lower to the ground, just take out a couple of props. If you enjoy taking a deeper twist, come down lower so that you can rotate your gaze over to the right side. But I'd like to say don't over effort at this point. You're trying to relax. You're trying to find a softness here. So come back from your edge, and perhaps that's the work, that's the yoga for you. So you can just hug on to the supports beneath you. Again, you've moved, so now just sense into all of those points beneath you in contact with the floor, the earth. And as you breathe in, gather up anything that really doesn't suit you any longer to hold on to. And as you exhale, just let it pour out of your body and into the earth beneath, through those points in the as the body touches the floor. So if you feel like rotating over to face in the opposite direction, go ahead and do that. Good, we've just about another minute here. Remember, Ujjayi breath, soothing the nervous system, so nice and slow, nice and easy. And then slowly just pressing your hands into the ground, lifting yourself up and turning back around to face front. Just hold it here, lie back, extend the legs, and just take a few rounds of breath, noticing how the body feels. This gentle unwinding in the spine, in the hips. And then we'll take it over to the second side. So bending one knee at a time. Take your feet nice and wide. And then let the two knees drop over to the left side. Okay. And sitting up. Turn towards the left and take one hand on either side of the bolster. So you're going to have to take your hips back to make room for you to do that. And once you're there, lift the heart and just unfurl yourself over the bolster. I suggest looking the same direction as your knees to start, and perhaps pop in the blanket in between your top knee and your bottom foot. Just something nice there. Wrap your hands around your supports. Again, shift the hips if you need to. And just let this corkscrew shape in your body gently unwind the tension being held in your back and in your hips. Breathe into the back of the right side of the ribs. Nice and big inhale, let the area inflate and expand, and then exhale, release. If you want to go a little bit deeper, feel free to turn and face over in the opposite direction. We have just over another minute here, so allow yourself to relax a little bit more deeply. Just noticing if the sensation in your body is pleasant, or perhaps it's vaguely unpleasant. And if it was too unpleasant, I would expect you to come out of it a little bit. Or just notice if sensation is neutral, neither pleasant or unpleasant. And you don't have to fix anything, it's just noticing. And then, when you're ready, just gently press your hands into the ground and come on up, turning back around to the front. And hold it here for a few moments just to let the body adapt again, fully unwound, lying back on your bolster. Notice. Notice any warm flushing through sensations in the body, any tingling, anywhere making itself known. And then we're just going to gently bend the knees, roll to the side there, and come on up. So for the next one, we're going to come onto our bellies and we're going to keep our props here. How convenient, she says. Right. I'm going to pop this lovely folded blanket up here for my head. And I'm going to come onto my belly. Okay, and I'm going to walk my knees back in line with the bottom of the bolster. Okay, so that's just going to help you find your way. And then once you find that, this is quite simple, come on down onto your belly, bend your knees and lift your feet up onto the bolster. Take your knees just in front of the bolster there. Okay, I'm a bit long, so I'm going to move my blanket and then just fold. Stack your arms, turn your face to one side, or even pressing something down or your stacked hands onto your eyebrow center here. Very, very soothing for the nervous system. Okay. So just let those legs relax. The knees on the floor. Head down or to the side. So this is a supported locust pose. If you're happy there, stay there. If you want a little bit more, you can work your way back up or back to the back up the top of the bolster so that your knees come off the floor. And you can hook your toes around the top of the bolster there, so it looks much more like locust, okay? Be sure to keep your legs quite close together there, okay? But try not to, over effort again. So just curling your toes around the top of the bolster there, and then come back to the same position that your upper body was in, maybe turning your head to the second side. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. And then just take your legs off your bolster. Okay, your hands underneath your shoulders, and slowly come on up onto your all fours. And just for the next one, you have the option of keeping the bolsters and everything in position there, or you can take the bolster like so in front of you here, and we're going to just take a straddle, wide-legged straddle position, Upavishta Konasana, and taking the legs wide. So there's a few little options here to modify. If you have tight hamstrings, you can prop underneath the knees, okay, so that your knees are bent. All right. So then you have them nice and supported there. And then you can either hug around your mountain of props or lift the top one up. If you've got a nice firm bolster like this, it's ideal. And just put your eyebrow center on the very top of the bolster and hug your hands there around the base of the bolster, hugging it in. Okay? So you're in a folded position. Now if you want to come down lower and you're quite happy with your props there, go ahead and do that too. Okay? And you can just lie over and hug in. You can turn your head to one side like me if you don't want to go head straight into the bolster again. Be sure and feel like you are fully supported. So if you need to change any of the props to support yourself even more, go ahead and do that. Just notice how this position feels in your body. Does it feel pleasant? Does it feel unpleasant? In which case I suggest you modify. Or does it feel pretty much neutral? If you're facing in one direction, I suggest you turn your head and face in the opposite direction. And then what you can do is just slowly bring yourself back up to a seat. And we're going to use the same prop system as we had for our last position of fish, supported fish pose. But if you prefer to be lying down on the ground, that's also fine. Okay? So just get yourself comfortable. I suggest you pop something behind the backs of your knees. I'm just going to take a couple of blocks and drape a blanket over them so that my knees are nice and supported there. Okay, and then just coming back, take your arms out by the sides, and again, if that doesn't feel great, a blanket on top, pillow, hug it in, whatever you need, and then relax. Make sure your heels are on the ground, and if they're not, you can pop something underneath. Okay? Gorgeous. Get nice and comfortable here. Take a breath in, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes or just soften the gaze. Let the skin on your face soften around your eyes, around your jaw. And just notice the skin on your lips there. Let your mouth relax. Bring your awareness into the sides of the head, back of the head, top of the head. Let it relax, softening the skin around the skull. Notice the back of the neck, sides of the neck. And make sure that your head isn't tilted backwards, so your chin isn't tilted up. Just a gentle dropping down of the chin into a neutral position. Back of the neck long, shoulders soft. heart elevated. And then just notice the top of the right arm there. See if you can soften that down a little bit more through the skin, to the tissues beneath, and into the bones, down to the elbow and the lower arm, just softening, relaxing. Into the wrist and the right hand, right fingers. See if you can have an awareness of the air around your fingers, softening and melting into that space. And then over to the left shoulder, relax it down, left upper arm, softening, heavy bones in the arm. Relax your left elbow, left forearm, wrist, hand, fingers and all the spaces in between. Let your arms feel so heavy they almost feel light. So light they feel so heavy. Relax both shoulders, both arms, hands, fingers. Notice the breastbone rising and falling slowly with the breath. Notice the belly slowly rising and falling. Feel the top of the right hip, right leg, upper right leg heavy, knee soft and relaxed down through the lower right leg, ankle, foot and toes. Feel the left hip, let it get heavy. Left thigh bone melting, tissues of the left leg, upper leg softening, knee relaxed, lower leg soften, ankle, foot, toes, both legs together, heavy. Melting down. Notice the back of the body facing towards the earth. Feel it melting down towards the earth a little bit more. Be effortless. And just turn your internal gaze up to your eyebrow center. And imagine, if you will, you're sitting in a beautiful garden, a beautiful late spring garden, and you can hear the bees buzzing around and the birds working hard, feeding young. The flowers opened, fresh, colourful. You're sitting on the ground there and you can feel the grass beneath you. You feel it under your feet. It's warm and you feel comfortable and safe. And just turning to your right, you see a small child beside you. And just looking closer now, this child is looking up at you and smiling back at you. And you realize this child is you in your younger years. And just wrapping your arms around this child and giving them a great big hug. And just reassuring them that they're okay, they're doing okay, and that everything's going to be okay. They've nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. And then just turning towards your left. And there's somebody sitting towards your left there. And this is an older person, maybe 5 or 10 years older than your present self. And they're staring into your eyes, smiling lovingly. You just realize that it's you in 5 or 10 years' time. And this person gathers you in their arms and gives you a great big hug and reassures you that everything is okay. You're doing really well. You have nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. And just let yourself lie back now on the grass in this beautiful garden, staring up into this beautiful blue sky. And let your heart feel really open. Fill it with that sense of reassurance and that sense of love for your younger self, for your older self, and for your present self. That sense of self-compassion, let that fill you now. Feel yourself at home. Noticing your inner gaze once more up towards your eyebrow center. Feeling the skin on your face. Your whole body relaxed and supported on your mat. Your body back in your room where you're practicing. Notice how your body feels. Now we're coming to the end of this practice. When you're ready, you can just rub your thumb and your index fingers together. And hopefully your knees are bent there, making life easier so that you can bend them a little bit more. Roll over to your side to bring yourself comfortably up to a seat. And when you get there, just gather those hands together at your heart and fill your heart up with that love for yourself. Big breath in, fill it up, and as you exhale, just allow that love just to spread out from the very center of your being out to wherever it's needed in this world. So we finish the practice with Namaste. Stay well, yogis. Thanks for practicing.